Football then and now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us. Good evening and a warmer welcome. This is episode 97 of Football Then and Now, a nostalgic look at football. But as with tonight, we are looking at current topics, and the Manchester Derby is going to be prevalent in this show. And my returning guest this evening is Brady Barlow. So yeah, we are back on together, mate, to cover the Manchester Derby. And it will be Aston Villa and Everton later. But I am panicking about that, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. How are you, Brady?
Not bad, mate, you?
All good, all good. Now, the big talking point is Michael Carrick's first game back in charge of Manchester United. It's the Manchester Derby at Old Trafford, of course. What this could be a baptism of fire, this, on Saturday. It could be, what a game to come back to for him, the club legend, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we all know it's going to be a different United coming into this. I mean, yeah, they've got the injuries, but I think in the end, I think a lot of player power. I think they lost the players, and Michael Carrick coming in, he's not going to take these players that try and voice their own opinion and try and force things. I think it's going to be a different United to what we've seen so far. I think they're going to be. He's not got long to get them ready. I mean, City, I think they're going to start kicking on. Semenyo's come in and already scored twice in two competitions. He's already scored. And I think with him and Haaland up top, I can't see anything more than a City win, but I think United will give them a proper game this time. 100%. I don't think there'll be any of this touchy-feely. I think it's going to be Michael Carrick will go in there and say, show me what you can do.
With Ruben Amorim, I'm just going to say one thing here. Now, I've spoken to Manchester United fans, of course. Some of them were in the camp that's saying he wasn't doing that bad. The league position, of course, off the basis of last year and how low down they were. And we've spoken about this, of course. Some of the fans were like, they shouldn't have let him go. They shouldn't let him go. They haven't had the European distraction this season.
No.
But where they are domestically in the Premier League, should he have gone and put that to you? And then I'll come in after you.
I think from what I've seen and heard, I think that he would have stayed if he was allowed to bring the players in he wanted to bring in this transfer window. But apparently it broke down between him and the sporting director. Sporting director wanted to bring other targets in. He didn't like these targets that they wanted to bring in. I don't know who it is that was names thrown around for players, but apparently it was just breakdown between the two of them, and it just went downhill from there. He felt like he'd lost the board because they backed the sporting director, and I think it was the wrong time to get rid of him. I think they were moving in the right direction. I mean, like you said, their league form, it wasn't that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, a couple of wins and they'll be up there chasing for Europe. Is it going to come back to bite them? That's the thing.
Do you think him resting on his laurels and picking that same formation all the time at the bearing, that was spoken about, wasn't it? I know there's more to it, but I think he did keep using that formation, didn't he? And at times they've dropped points in games where he could have changed it. You know, he could have gone to 4 at the back. He's had the wing backs. I think there's lots of branches coming off this where it's gone wrong, and you know where the problems have arisen. But I think he was so set to that formation with the wing backs, wasn't he? Even against us weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah,
you know, we had the man advantage, and he didn't change it, Brady.
No, I don't know if he didn't change it because he didn't have the players to change it because of the injuries that they've had and everything, or he just wanted to stick to his guns and keep going with it. I mean, it's not like he's a better manager than I'm going to bring it up, but Ange Postecoglou. He had Plan A, and that was it. I think Amrim. I think that's the formation he stuck to because that's the formation he trusted. I mean, you look at the players that they had on the bench or they had coming back from injury. Some of them couldn't play in that formation, so I think that's why he stuck with it and wouldn't change it because the players that he had on the benches at the time they just wouldn't fit into that formation. And I just think I, it was a strange one because we've seen him change it in some games, and it got them back into it. But I think he was just one of those because it's the same formation he played in Portugal, which worked. Yeah, it might work in Portugal. Doesn't mean it's going to work over here.
One thing I will give the board at United, they gave him a war chest. There was money spent in the summer. But again, on the flip side, that looking at it from both sides of the coin, you've got to get everyone into that system. You've got to get it working, bringing a load of new players in. Look at yourselves. Your team was very set from last season, wasn't it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? 'Cause you didn't make loads of signings, and it's been beneficial to Villa, I think. Not to make it about Villa, but a set team, the nucleus of the team has been the same for ages. They know how each other plays. But with Amarim, was it a bit of a death mill in terms of you've had all them players thrown in at once again? They did do a lot of business in the summer,
yeah,
and you've got to get everyone cohesive, haven't you? It takes time. It really does
yeah,
take time. But they did back him with the checkbook, didn't they?
yeah. But then I think, like I said, there was. I know there's been players touted to that he wanted to bring in at United, and like I said, it sounds like there was a breakdown between him and the sporting director, and they just didn't see eye to eye. And the players he wanted to bring in would fit straight into his system, where the players that the sporting director wanted to bring in maybe didn't fit in or weren't the caliber that he wanted. But yeah, I think he was given a lot of money in the summer. He did bring a lot of players in that he wanted to bring in. Um, it's, we all know it takes time for players to come to settle in, especially players that have never played in the Premiership before. I mean, even players that have played in the Premiership, for them to settle into a team that train different times, do different things on different days to what they'd normally be used to. I mean, I think they could have given him a bit longer. I think he just had enough in the end. I think he just got fed up of being told no.
I get you. I totally get you with it. What I would say, we need to make this a bit about Michael Carrick again because I brought Amarin in, but it is going to be central. A lot of the coverage, preview
Yeah,
to the games leading into Saturday is going to be centered around Michael Carrick. He's had the week, hasn't he, with the players. Jonathan
yeah,
Woodgate's there, Steve Holland's there, of course. Uh, Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans is on the coaching staff as well. He's got the people around him that he knows.
yeah.
They've got experience. Jonathan Woodgate's managed, don't forget. Steve Holland's been around for donkey's years doing it. But the way City are, I mean, they've won the last two, but they drew the last three in the league.
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think the game will go in terms of on the Man United end? I'll talk about Pep in a bit, but just with Michael Carrick, what will be his headspace? Will he keep it steady? Will they
I
go
think
for it?
I don't
It's a
I don't think
question.
he'll go for it. I think he'll want to try and hit them on the break. I think he's gonna do kind of like what Villa do. He did a lot of it up at Middlesbrough. They'd sit back, they'd soak it all up, and they'd hit on the break. And I think that's what he's going to try and do against City. Um, I, I can't see. a loss for City. But I think, like I said, I think United are just going to give it a good go. I think Carrick had a goodish track record up at Middlesbrough. I think, no disrespect to him, I think it was between him and Darren Fletcher for who was going to be brought in. I think that's more like what they did with Ollie to get the fans back on side again. Even though a lot of fans were on side with Amorim. I mean, you still got the fan base is probably still split with them bringing Michael Carrick in. There was talk of Ollie coming back again and having Ollie back at the wheel, but then apparently a deal was actually struck with that from different sources saying the same thing, that a deal was struck, but then the fans have had their opinions and the United board have actually listened to it for once and changed their mind. So it's one of those. I think the United, since Fergie left, I think the United job has always been the poison chalice. Mourinho said the same. He loved the job. It's just for the size of the club. You're not fighting against the fans. You're fighting against the board. There's too many working pieces in that club, and I think, like I said, no disrespect to Michael Carrick. I think he's been brought in to get the fans back on side. I hope he hits the ground running. I personally can't see it, but I think he'll steady them. He'll get them playing back to basic sort of thing and try and get the wins. But it's they haven't got the easiest of run-ins, have they?
They've got Arsenal coming up straight after it, so he's right into it. And again, when United have been down and City have been flying, they've picked results up. They've won games.
Yeah,
United, even at the City of Manchester. I've seen it various times, especially when Rashford was there. He seemed to like step it up in those games. So it's not beyond the realms that they could get something. But City, worst case scenario, if City were to lose this game, I think the title's done and dusted if Arsenal win on the weekend. What, or
yeah.
do you still think it's too early? Am I jumping the gun there?
Mm, I don't think it's too early. I think if City lose and Arsenal go and pick up points, we all know what City can do. We've seen it before. They could go on a mad little run. I don't think they're going to be panicking, even if they were to lose it. I don't think they panic. I think they'd still just carry on doing what they're doing. They know how good they are. They know how good they can be. And I just think Arsenal just need to keep the pressure on. And it's at the moment, it's Arsenal's league to lose. But they've still got to play City again. They've still got to play us again. They've still got quite a few big games coming up. So I think the derbies, the United derbies aren't as big as they used to be. As in player on player, they're not as big as they used to be. There's not that many homegrown players that are going to throw themselves in like you used to have back when we were younger. Some of the derbies you used to see. I mean, it's it's the same when I've watched Everton Liverpool. They're not the same as they used to be because you haven't got that many hometown players anymore. Um, I just think City are going to be too strong for them. City are going to think if we can get 3 points, brings us back the 4 points behind Arsenal, which puts the pressure back on Arsenal. It's still 4 points behind, but it puts the pressure back on Arsenal because Arsenal then think, well, one more win for City, they're only a point behind us. So
Mm.
that's the thing with City. Whether they're out in front or they're just trailing behind, they know how to put the pressure on.
What I'm thinking a draw. I'm going to go with my first thing I thought of. I'm not going to change it or anything. I've got one. I've got a 1-1 draw. You know, I see United. I just see them getting the fans get behind him, and it's his first game back.
I've,
I've
I've,
got a draw in my head. You're disagreeing, and that's fine. That's absolutely
I've got
fine. What do you
3-1
think?
City.
Yeah,
3-1 City.
turn them over.
I think with the way Semenyo's just hit the ground running straight away, I think the partnership him and Haaland are going to have, I think that's just going to be ridiculous. And I just think City are going to have too much for him, and I can't see anything other than a City win.
I tell you
Unfortunately,
what, Semenyo did it in the right way with that move, though, didn't he? Because
yeah.
it was spoken about for weeks and weeks. We knew it was coming. We knew what was going to be happening. He is
I mean, he still played for Bournemouth a couple of days before.
unbelievable. Like Mark Gay. I know Mark Gay's still at Palace at the moment, but they're doing it in the right way. You
Yeah,
know he's going to go. We know he's going to go. It's probably going to be this summer. It's not going to be the January window. He'll go on a free. But to be fair to Semenyo, just the way he's gone about it, mate, it's quite
yeah,
refreshing actually. Because when a player wants away, there's normally a load of theatre
yeah.
drama behind it. So
Especially a player of his age as well. I mean, we've seen players older than him like throw the toys out the pram and want to demand the move. But I think he's been, like you said, he's been quite professional with it. He knew he was a Bournemouth player. They could still pull the plug if they wanted to. So why destroy what you've had with that club to try and force a move through when he knew that he's still got a job to do? He was still a Bournemouth player at the time. He still carried on playing and could have done City a favour in his last game for Bournemouth against Arsenal. So I just think fair dues to him. He's been very professional. He's gone straight into City, hit the ground running, 2 goals already. And I just, under Pep, I think he's just going to grow.
Dan Hughes, he's been on the show. He's been on the show twice, of course. I'll be getting you back on soon. You'll be coming back on. Come on, City. Cherky, Semenyo, Foden, Haaland, Doku, Reinders. Is there a better attack than this in the Premier League right now? I think Arsenal's squad depth, looking at the subs bench even last night, I think Arsenal have got, I think pound for pound, I think they've got the stronger squad. But you have got in the attacking areas, yeah, you could make a case for City being stronger, but I think on the whole, I was just looking at that bench last night. I was like, oh my god!
Yeah,
Chelsea made a good fist of things. They're still in it. Going to the
yeah.
Emirates for the second leg, they really went for it. The goalkeepers were at fault. Do you know what I mean? If anything, last night that's what caused it. But yeah,
And the thing is, for Arsenal as well, Saka's not playing anywhere near what he's been doing the past few seasons. He's nowhere near what the standard he was. I think if he hits his full potential like he has done the past few seasons, I think Arsenal could just kick on.
where are the two handsome lads from the last Derby preview? Well, you're going to have to come back on, aren't you? The pair of you, but me and Brady are going to hold it up this week. And I think we've done all right. I know you're going to disagree with the 1-1, Dan, but Brady said 3-1 to you guys. Brady, I don't really want to talk about the next game because I am bricking it. And I know other teams have got injuries. I know other teams have got players at AFCON. I am not whinging or crying about that. We are threadbare. Jack, obviously, will be back after serving the one match ban for the 2 yellows, which led to the red. Stupid moment, of course.
Yeah.
But I am bricking coming to Villa Park on Sunday at R4, mate. I am worried. I know you might downplay this now, but I just think we are stretched. And I think you've been fantastic. You've been really, really good. I fear the worst on Sunday afternoon, mate.
I mean, we always it's always a good game between us two. Always. Doesn't matter whether it's at our place or at your place, it's always a good game. And I wouldn't write yourselves off that quick. You'll still give us a game. And I still think we'll get something out of it, whether it be a win or a draw. I don't think you'll beat us. Don't want to jinx anything, but with the way that we're playing at the moment, with the way that you're playing, yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but don't write yourselves off because we never have a bad game against you. Villa Everton's the longest running fixture in the top flight, and there's rarely ever been a bad game between the two of us.
I just think from a creative standpoint, with Jack coming back, Jack was copping for it a little bit from some of the fans, and then he put 2 assists in when we lost to
Yeah,
Brentford, of course, but he put 2 assists in. I think people were getting on his case a little bit. I would be inclined at times to move him into the 10. I think move him
yeah,
around. He's got him out on the left all the time, and look. And again, Moyes is getting it. Moyes is getting in the neck. A lot of our fans have got a short memory, like to me, and we're only 4 points off fifth anyway. It's like
exactly.
they're terrible. Have the performances been bad in the last 4? Yeah, they've not been great at all. They've been poor. But Moyes, be careful what you wish for getting rid of Moyes, because look at West Ham. Look at West Ham and look at the state of it now. I think
Yeah,
they just need to calm down a little bit. They're allowed their opinion. I'm not disputing that. But Moyes is getting it. Do you think that's unjust? From the outside looking in?
yeah. I mean, like you said, you've had a lot of injuries. You've got players off at Ofcon, and I just think for what you've had to deal with the past few seasons, he's come in, he's steadied you, he's got you playing right again. Like I said, you're not far off fifth place. You're not off the You're not far off the European places. 1 or 2 wins. You got a win against us on Sunday. You're straight in there. I think, and Everton fans don't take this the wrong way. I think a lot of you feel that you should be higher than what you are. But I think for what you've done with the players that you've had and the money that you've been able to spend, with the injuries that you've had, with the players that you've had off on international AFCON, I think to still be only 4 points off fifth place, that's still a hell of a record. And I just think, yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but I think some people are just, they live in dream worlds, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Some
Be, be,
fans.
be realistic sometimes. It's like, hold on a minute. And he's only been in 12 months. And look what was going on the previous 3 or 4 years.
Exactly.
He has steadied it, and nobody's going to tell me any different. It annoys me because when we were on that run, we were winning and we were doing very, very well. And he was the best thing since sliced bread. And I know the same people are commenting saying the complete opposite about him. It's the fickle football fan. We've all got him. We've all
Exactly.
got him, but we've got them in an abundance at the moment. Be careful what you wish for. A young manager is not going to work currently. I've said
Yeah.
this how many times on this show. We need to stick with him. Let him have the next 18 months. That's his contract that he's got left. Let's see where we are then. They want it all now, but it's not going to happen now. It's going to
No.
take time. It's going to take time, isn't it, Brady?
Yeah. I mean, we all know you're going to be paying off the stadium, which is going to bring your budget down. You're not going to be able to splash the cash like some fans think that their teams can just go throw money at everything. You can't. The dreaded PSR always comes into play, and yeah, you've got more income with a bigger stadium, but that then goes to offset the payments for the money that was borrowed to build that stadium. And I just think people just think, like, I've seen some Villa fans on other people's podcasts and things, and yeah, we should go get this player, we should go get that player. We can't. We literally can't. I mean, there's this. It looks like we could be getting Tammy Abraham back. I mean, you know me, Stu. You know how much I loved Tammy Abraham when he was at Villa. I'd love him back at Villa. I think a lot of Villa fans would love him back. He's a cult hero for what he did in the Championship. 26 goals in all competitions for us that season. But it's one of these. Do we talk to Roma? Do we talk to Besiktas? How much is it going to cost? Marlon's looking like he's going to Roma now.
Oh, sorry to jump in. How do you feel about him going? Because he's been off the bench in
It's,
games, but he's been from again turn on from the outside looking in. When he's come on and he's scored goals or he's affected, he's made
it's a
things
bit of a
happen.
strange one because
I don't get it.
he was, I don't know if something's happened because Emery's very. If you don't, it's not like you have to do it my way. It's my way or the highway sort of thing. But he's sort of very old Alex Ferguson as well. Where if you want to come and have a word, come and have a word. But if you want to try and force something, ain't gonna happen. So I don't know if something's happened and or he's had a meeting with Marlon. Marlon said, "Well, am I going to get more game time?" And he's turned around and said, "No, not at the moment." Marlon spat his dummy, or I don't know what's happened, but it is a bit of a strange one.
He's not the quickest him, but he reacts to situations.
Yeah,
I see him in that box, mate. He causes havoc, but like you say, with Roma, it could be you'll play every week at Roma, and he will he will. So you've got to look at it. You've got to look at it from that side. But I thought he's looked really good for you.
yeah, but it's like the whole Diaby situation.
Mm.
Played really well, scored quite a few, and then all of a sudden was gone within 12 months. It's like, okay, thanks for coming. What happened with that one?
But the no nonsense approach you're saying from the boss, look at the managers that don't do that, and it doesn't
Yeah,
work. It goes belly up. So you've got to look at it from Emery's point of view as well, haven't you?
yeah. I mean, you can look at these clubs that have got massive player power. I mean, you look at Real Madrid. Xavi Alonso just goes after they're 4 points behind Barcelona. He has the second highest win percentage behind Ancelotti from I think it was 2013, and then all of a sudden he's gone just because he lost to Barcelona in the league and then he lost to him in the Super Cup the other day. And but like you can see the player power
Mm,
in that club, and I think Emery's not the type that'll you let people use their own power and think they've got the power. I mean, you look at Ollie Watkins, he thought he was a shoe in to start in the Champions League games last season when we had Rashford, and he felt Rashford would be more suited to those games. Watkins tries to come out and criticise it, but then gets shot down straight away. So I think he won't. I don't know if something has happened between them or if it's just been agreed. You're not going to get the game time we thought you were going to get. So if you can find somewhere, then happy days.
mm,
But it sounds like we're going to make a small profit from what we paid for him.
mm.
So
Which in this day and age is always that's a positive, isn't it? That you're
yeah,
pulling in something for him, mate. But again, I just he's got a plan. There's a plan, isn't there? Obviously,
yeah.
the links we were linked with Abraham, Naziri from Fenerbahce, Callum Wilson. We've been linked with people. I mean, you'd be led to believe you're going to get Tammy Abraham. You won't
Apparently,
want.
it's it's just all down to who we need to speak to. It's
Mm,
apparently it's a bit messy because Besiktas have triggered the obligation for the permanent signing of him in the summer, but he's still under contract for with Roma. So do we speak to Roma? Do we speak to Besiktas? It's
mm,
a bit messy, but apparently it's all. it's all getting dealt with. So hopefully it gets pushed over the line because we need somebody to either play up top with Ollie or replace Ollie when he needs time out because we've got players that are playing with little niggling injuries. Martinez has got a little tear in his in his thigh, and we've got players that are just playing through injury at the moment. It seems
He was
like.
getting slagged off on the radio the other day. Martinez, the villain came on. He's booting off about him. I was like, oh my god, what do you
I
think?
think it. I think a lot of people are still a bit sour after what happened in the summer,
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
but he's a Villa player still. He's still playing at a high level. Yeah, he's made mistakes. Who doesn't? The best players in the world have always made mistakes. And I think because he has these little injuries, people think, oh, he's a goalkeeper. He shouldn't be getting those injuries. Why? I said if he's been playing through those injuries for a long time, then he's going to take longer to heal.
Mm.
So I think it's not like we've got a poor backup keeper. And these Villa fans that are slagging him off all that, I guarantee a few weeks ago when he was pulling saves out of nowhere to keep us in games and win us games, we're cheering his name at the ground. Or sat at home cheering his name. It's just,
Mm.
some
So
people just
it's
some fans
fickle.
just literally walk around with the blinkers on.
It's that key. It's that key word. Fickle. You got fickle fans left and right, and centre. They're all there,
Yeah,
and it's worse now. I know it's. We say it all the time. Social media. Anyone's an expert. They've never kicked the ball. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be balanced. Uh, you've got to be balanced about it. And I'm balanced about Everton. It's not going to happen overnight, as I said. But when you haven't got Dewsbury Hall, who was arguably our best player before the
yeah,
injury, he was really coming into his own, orchestrating it through the middle. It was all through him. We've got nobody in that middle. We are getting swarmed in the middle. Keane and Tarkowski have been iffy. They've been really bad. I know Keane scored, and then he pulled the man's hair. I was just like, what is going on here? But it's we're struggling. We are struggling with who we've got, and Jared's back on light training now. But I mean, we've
mm,
been waiting for him for weeks and weeks. He was back on grass weeks ago. It's just very difficult. It's very difficult. Everyone wants a right back. Everyone wants a left back. Why not give Asnu? Why not give Asnu a go? He played him, further up against Sunderland in the cup. He brought him on. We get a penalty. Give the lad a go. Oh,
yeah.
I don't think he's ready for the physicality of the Premier League. Well, when's he going to be ready? When's Asnu going to be ready? Give him a go. Mikalenko's played a lot of football. Give the young lad a go. I'm all for
Yeah.
that. But he's not, Moyes. Moyes. He'll play it how he wants to play it. He's not going to change it. I don't think on Sunday.
Probably not, but stranger things have happened.
He looks good going forward, that lad. So it's going to be beneficial to Grealish down the left. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'd give it a go. I'm thinking off the top of my head now as well. I'm just trying to think. I was thinking of then, and it's gone. It's gone. Just people are getting on the cases of players. Dibbling, that's it. Tyler Dibbling, 19 years old. Where was Jack Grealish at 19? He was at Notts County. Njai was playing non-league football at 19. He has been getting it. I don't understand it. And he's going to be seeing stuff online. What good is that to that lad?
yeah.
It's
I
get
think
on.
because of the price tag that you brought him in for, I think a lot of fans think, "Oh, well, we paid this much for him; he should be ready to play." Well,
It's
no.
it's it's for years. It's a project with him. He's
I
going to
mean,
be.
you look at the players that Villa have brought in this January so far. I think the average age is something like 19 years old.
Mm,
And they're not for like right now, they're for in the future because we're building for something. And the players that he's letting go out on loan, they're the youth players. He wants them to get the experience because he knows you can't splash the cash. We're not going to be able to do what the likes of City, United. Tottenham, all these teams that have got the big income from other sides of the game, we're not going to be able to splash the cash like they do. I mean, we could if we were allowed, with the owners that we've got, who are multi billionaires. Newcastle could do the same if they were allowed. Hell, they could go buy whoever they wanted, but you have to go with building for the future, and that's what Everton are going to be doing. Same as what Villa are doing. They're going to build for the future.
What good is that doing? I've read so many comments about him. Like, hold on a minute, this could go very bad for that lad. Get behind him.
Yeah,
He's hardly played before Njai went away, and he's trying to find himself. And it's a new team. And I heard, he thought he should be starting from the get go when we signed him. But who's plucked that out of thin air? Who? That's a load of nonsense. Load of nonsense. He knows he wouldn't be nailed on to be playing right wing. There's
yeah.
just no chance with Njai playing there when he's fit.
It's those fans whose brothers, cousins, uncles, aunties, dog with a cat heard off a best friend, told their sister. It's one of those. They've heard it's been passed down the line. Somebody said that, and somebody started a rumor in the put, and it's just literally flown round everywhere. It's got online. Some little morons read it and got, oh, well, he said that he should be starting. Have you asked him if he should be starting? Have you spoken to him directly? No, you haven't. Shut up. And like you said, he's 19 years old. Things like that, things like the stuff that they're coming out with online, that can get into young players' heads. That can affect them mentally. And I just think some of these idiots, like you said, have never kicked a ball in their lives professionally or amateur. They don't have a clue. They can sit there, they can slag players off, they can slag managers off. Boring. You don't have a clue. Move on.
I need to press you for a prediction. I'm just looking. I'm looking at the time. Now. I know you're going to go for a Villa win, and why shouldn't you? Because you've been brilliant. You've been absolutely brilliant, and I am panicking. And I do not want to sit on the fence and say a draw, but I would take a draw. I would take a draw. It's not going to happen, and I don't want to be negative, but I just think we're going to struggle, and I think you're going to have too much for us with the quality you've got in that team. But yeah, your prediction. Sorry.
2-1 Villa, I think it's good. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be 2-1 Villa.
I think you're going to beat us. I had 3-1. I'd love a 1-1 draw or a 2-2, but we don't score many goals, as you know. Our two strikers are not exactly firing, are they? And there's not much. Jack's going to have to be whipping that ball in and doing some magic. He's going to have to come back to Villa and do something. It's going to be on him, I think, to do things, and he's going to be chomping at the bit after the ban. So yeah, I think I've got 3-1 Villa, but I'd love a 1-1 or a 2-2. But I think you're gonna have too much for us, mate.
Either way, it's going to be a good game for the
Yeah.
neutral.
Yeah. I agree. We've got to come and have a go a little bit as well. We can't just sit back. But we're woeful at the back at the minute, and we weren't. We were like, I think we've got eight clean sheets. Arsenal have got 10.
Mm.
I think there's like two teams with 9 above us. We were actually second before all these matches about 3 weeks ago. So we were keeping it tight at the back. Typical Moyes, but they're not confident. It's just the confidence has gone again a little bit. And Jared needs to be fit, and he's weeks away yet. We need him. We need the big man back in there. I worry, mate. I just worry. But fingers crossed we can get something. I hope. I did want to do some predictions, but I'm just looking at time. I think we'll just call it a night for this episode. Brady, thank you so much for coming on again. And you've got Europe. Europe will be back on as well, won't it? So you've got Europe to look forward to. Just before you go, how do you feel? we're going to be getting back into the swing of that, of course. How do you feel it's going to go?
I think if we can keep playing the way that we are, get some players in, maybe bring some of the. I think if we can get enough points to automatic qualification in the Europa League, I think if we can bring a couple of the youngsters through and some of the fringe players, I think that'll stand us in good stead to kick on the competition. I mean, I know we're touted as one of the favourites to win it, but you know me, I'm always the optimist.
I think you can, like we said before, I think you can do it. I think you can do it. And he's got the pedigree in that tournament as well.
Yeah.
We know how good he is in that. I think you've got a very good chance. There's good teams in there, of course, as always.
Yeah.
There always is, isn't there? But I think on your day, when you're at peak and playing the way you've been playing, I think you're going to be hard for a lot of teams, even the top sides that are left in that. So yeah, all the best to the Villa, as we always say in that. And we'll be back next week. I'm thinking a nostalgic episode. We've neglected nostalgia, so we need to do a bit of that. And I think there might be a current episode as well leading into the European games and what have you. So yeah, thank you very much, Brady, for coming on. Always a pleasure.
Worries.
And we are on the Sports Social Podcast Network, Football Then and Now, Europe's largest sports podcast network. So yeah, if you've got a podcast, we always say this, and you're not affiliated with anyone, join these guys. They're amazing. They put a lot of our content up on their socials over the last 2 or 3 years with our other shows as well that we do. So yeah, the Sports Social Podcast Network. Before we go, don't want to leave them out. And as I say, we'll be back next week for episode 98. And we are fast approaching the 100th episode. So yeah, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. And it's been amazing. And yeah, looking forward to the football at the weekend. And hopefully we don't get slaughtered by Villa. Football Then and Now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us.